I hope you didn't have any eggs, because it's not very nice to have eggs when you don't like eggs. Happy Bunny Day, Erifingal. Hello, Philip. It's Easter time. What does that mean? Very little to most people. Not anything to me, actually, but I'm sure lots of people celebrate. And to you, I say, have a happy Easter. Yes, happy Easter for the people that celebrate, and happy Sunday to the people that it's Sunday for. And if it's not Sunday, then happy day. I think there's other things going on as well. I don't know, because it's just a day. But it's still celebrated and marked. For instance, on Friday, Good Friday, if you will, I noticed that not the newest Ghostbusters, but the last but one Ghostbusters, the one where this afterlife was on the television, the actual BBC. And I said to my dad, oh my gosh, a big film? That's unusual. And I was like, oh yeah, it's Easter time. So it's a big film. They're putting a big film, like a big premiere film. I mean, I know it's been on other platforms, but that's unusual. They don't do that very often. And then I remembered it's Easter. And he went, oh no, The Robe was on earlier. And I'm like, but The Robe isn't a big film. He's like, oh, it is. It is. It's a very long, big film. It's a biblical epic. I'm like, I am aware that it is. And that's not what I mean by a big film, though. Well, I meant like a big blockbuster film. And I didn't much enjoy the last Ghostbusters. I actually preferred the 2016 one, which was on afterwards, but I didn't see that. I've seen it. I saw it on Netflix or something recently. But I sat through Ghostbusters Afterlife again, but I was sort of half watching it, and to be honest, it wasn't really grabbing my attention. But it's nothing against it. I don't think it's the best of the Ghostbusters, really. But it was still a bigger film than The Robe, I thought. And I thought, have I actually seen The Robe, which is a biblical epic, which I believe is something to do with the robe of Jesus or something like that. And I was like, I don't know whether I have. But then the next day on the you get memories that have popped up on certain other social media platforms that go, on this day you said this thing. 26, I liked, yes, I preferred the 2016. Afterlife, it was just, there was nothing happened in Afterlife. Anyway, The Robe, it popped up that I must have watched The Robe, because in 2018, I made a comment that I was very much enjoying all the innuendo and the fact that Victor Mature's character very much obviously had a massive crush on the Jesus character, and that he was going, oh, he looked at me and all that sort of thing. And I was like, oh, well, I must have seen it then. I must have seen it because I was blasphemous about it. So if you don't like blasphemy, I'm very sorry, but Victor Mature's character very much did have a big crush on Jesus in it, as far as I can remember. Although I didn't see it on Friday, so my memory is not refreshed. But I remember it being, so it probably is true. And as I said something about that the other day as well, that Jesus was hanging around with 12 single men. To a comment that my dad said, and anyway, he's like, oh, you can't say that. It's like, well, I did. So I went there. So there you go. My hair's a bit messy there. Yeah, there was a ginger filter that was appearing on things, and it was, the thing is, I think I look quite good with red hair, but it's difficult to tell because the amount of other filter that was on the thing too, it was all eyelashes and big lips, and there was it had freckles, and you could press it again and you got rid of the freckles, and it was like, oh, I look nice, but I also look about 40 years younger and very smooth with very big mouth and lots of eyelashes. So very difficult to tell whether I actually would look good as a redhead. In the light, my hair actually looks a lot, it's darker than it was, I think, but it used to be a lot redder in the sunlight, like the pictures of me in the sun, and it sort of shines, so it sort of looks red in the sun. It looks very dark in the not sun. So am I a redhead? Am I a ginger? It's difficult to tell, but I sort of am. I don't have the gene, neither did my mother, but she used to have red hair and it was natural. It was a different sort of red to the one with the mutation. I don't know whether that makes a difference. Apparently redheads smell like goats, and blondes smell like milk, and brunettes smell like something, I don't know. I'm just making that up, I don't know. Something of that ilk. So I don't know what I smell of, really. I'm a russet head. I had, yes, in the light, I mean, I think, because you can't really tell, there's sort of white bits in my hair. This is the natural colour of my hair. I think the bits that were most red, it was sort of streaky red, and the bits that were most red have gone sort of white, and all the other bits have just stayed dark, so it's very much doesn't look reddish anymore. It used to be that I used to have sort of, you can sort of see a reddish streak there. Actually, sort of in the light, you can sort of see when it sort of goes in the light and then it goes. Yeah, it's a bit sort of red streak in the light. You can't really tell, but when the light flashes on it, you can sort of see. Anyway, you just have to take my word for it. I know I'm still up about it. I went for, they were looking for extras. I was like, I'm not really an extra, but all right, supporting artist. I went for an audition for a sort of a, hey, look at you sort of thing for Suffragette, the film Suffragette. And they said, you can't have dyed hair. And I didn't have dyed hair. It was this hair, but I was using something called Amla to shampoo it because I was on a no shampoo kick. But I thought, well, it's not it's like it's a sort of nut. It's a sort of citrusy nut, I think, ish from Asia, and it's slightly, I think, tinted bits of my hair. So when I went there, they were like, you have dyed your hair. I'm like, I haven't. And they shone a light on it. They have, Go away now. So they sent me away. I was like, but I haven't dyed my hair. It's Amla. Amla is not, it's not a modern thing. So if it's not like, I'm pretty sure that people in suffragettes' times, which is only just over 100 years ago, would have used stuff on their hair that was available, has been available for hundreds, if not thousands of years. So it seemed very unfair, and it would have washed out if I'd have washed my hair at the time, which I wasn't washing. I wash my hair now. But I use Child's Farm. It's children's shampoo, but it's very mild. My scalp doesn't like shampoo, so very mild shampoo is as much as my scalp can take. Anyway, Amla makes your hair a little bit redder, it turns out, but I didn't realise that, and I was very affronted on the way. But I was sort of on the bus home, I was like, because you could sort of see. I could sort of see when held up to the light. I was like, oh yes, some of my hair looks a bit shiny red in a way that it probably shouldn't have. But I hadn't dyed it, you see, and so I wasn't lying, and I felt very affronted that they were accusing me of lying, and it wasn't really lying because I didn't know that it was going to do that to my hair. So not fair, and it was also washable. So I could have still just washed my hair with water, and it would have been fine. It wouldn't have stayed in. So, but there was a guy there. He's like, no, you can't stay. Justice. Hair justice now, exactly. Now, there was somebody else that was waiting there that was like, oh, do you think that she had extensions? And do you think they'll notice? I'm like, yeah, I think they'll notice that. So they were pretty much sending everyone away. It's like, no, you're not. I mean, extensions, I can see why that would have been a problem. But something that would have been available at the time. Even if I'd coloured my hair entirely with henna, then that was available at the time. I don't really know what the problem was. And also, it came out, I haven't watched it, but I saw the trailers and I was like, they're all wearing wigs. So I was like, is what they wanted to do was shave all the supporting artists' hair off and use it as wigs for the main cast? I think that probably was what happened. So they just wanted to use our hair and not us. Anyway, fair. So annoying. Anyway, so yeah. What has happened this week? I do not know. Still rumours about people. Hair thieves, exactly. They would have taken all our hair and left us bereft, and we wouldn't have had any hair, and that woman from Doctor Who that played Sally Sparrow would have had all her hair. She was definitely wearing a wig in it, because I've seen her hair and it's not real. It keeps changing colours. Have you seen her in Maestro? She's got at least 25 wigs in it. Have you seen her in other things? She's got a terrible accent in it too. I'm sorry. She's a very good actress, but that accent was well dodgy. I don't know what it was supposed to be. She was like, I'm a character. I'm married to Leonard Bernstein. This is my character. This is my accent. This. What is it? Oh, I don't know where she's supposed to be from. Wherever it was, that's the accent she did. And she got nominated for awards. So who am I to say it was terrible, because she got nominated for all sorts of awards. But then again, you do a funny accent or behave weird. I mean, the person that won all the awards was Emma Stone. I started watching that this morning. Poor things. There's something. Funnily enough, I go to a coffee morning with my parents because I'm so bored. And there's this girl that comes with. She's got 2 kids, and she was starting to talk about how she's got baby brain. Oh, she forgot something in the supermarket because she's got baby brain. And us women have got baby brain. She kept saying. Now I was watching Poor Thing, and I was thinking, is that what she meant? Like baby brain? If you've seen the film, you'll know, because Ella Baxter's got baby brain, just like the person at the coffee morning. I don't think it's the same thing, and I don't think that's what she meant. No, I don't think that's what she meant at all. I haven't finished watching it because my dad came down. I was like, I'm halfway through. I can't explain what's going on. And usually when I'm watching something, like I was watching Girls 5 Ever, and I quite like that. Sleep deprivation, yes. Exactly. Good woody sound, yes. Woody, 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 wood, 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 it would, wood, wood, it would, wood, chuck, wood, chuck, wood, chuck, chuck, wood, chuck, wood, chuck, wood, chuck, wood, I don't know. Anyway, so I didn't finish watching it because I was watching Girls 5 Ever, which I think is quite good, and my dad came in when I was watching that and said, don't worry, don't mind me, I'm just going to sit in the corner and draw, and I'm like, fine, and he's going, every time he was like, this is so stupid, it's like, you're spoiling it. I was going, stop it, I know you're not enjoying it, but you've just said that I could watch it, and you're messing it up. So I didn't want to explain halfway through Poor Things what had been going on and what had happened up till that point. So I just turned it off. He's like, oh, don't turn it off on my behalf. It's like, I don't want you to go for the rest of it. So I didn't want to explain. And my brother has been recommending things to them. Like he recommended 3 Body Problem, which I did watch this week, to my parents. Now I watched it and thought, this is too complicated for them. And I have been given the benefit of the doubt, but he also recommended to them The Banshees of Inisherin. Right? I told you this. And they watched that and they were like, what's going on? And he also, my brother said to my dad, you should watch Saltburn. And I'm like, don't tell Dad to watch Saltburn. And he explained the plot, and Dad was like, what? Do you think I wouldn't like it because there's all sex in it? I'm like, no, I think you wouldn't like it because you wouldn't like it. I'm not going to watch Saltburn with you. I'm sorry. No. Like, I was like, no, it's not for my parents. Not at all, no. Not ever, no. So I'm not, I've been watching things that are like, appropriate for to watch with my parents, but they're like, what's happening? And we have to turn the subtitles on now, which I think is a Generation Z thing as well. Apparently all the younger people always watch things with subtitles. They're used to just watching things with subtitles. To be honest, when I'm watching the TikTok app, I actually usually watch it with just the subtitles on, with the sound turned off, because it's easier. I'm just like reading, so I can see what. I'm almost Generation Z. Yes, exactly. What did you say? I didn't say. I didn't see what you said because the chat pops up because I've got it on my phone. And then it disappears, so I'll have to wait till somebody else says something so I can see that chat, because it disappears. So when somebody says something, it pops up and then it goes. So I'll have a little look in a minute. So it's just like, there's a lot of things I don't want to watch with them, but mostly because it's complicated. Now my father he enjoys anything with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy in them. So obviously, yeah, but he's seen The Heat, so we can't watch that again. So he's like, find me another film with one of those in them. So we're watching some Sandra Bullock films, and he's mostly liked them. But we watched The Boss last week, I think I said, and he did not enjoy that. He's like, ooh, it's a bit crude. I mean, he laughed, and he was like, yeah, so I don't know, difficult. Yeah. Somebody said it's a surprise that they haven't made a sequel to The Heat because it made loads of money. But to be honest, I think, don't get me wrong here, I do think, actually, I think that the film industry is quite a sexist industry. So even if a film with women made a lot of money, they're going to sort of fumble it and go, why did that make money? It's like Barbie, why did that make money? Oh, because it's got a doll in it. So now they're making loads of films with dolls and things in them. It's like, that's not the reason. Like, that's not the reason. Like, whatever it is, if something with female characters strikes big and lots of people watch it, they go, oh, it's inexplicable, don't know how, and they mess it up. Like, I quite like the first Captain Marvel film. It was alright. I mean, a lot of the Marvel films have gone downhill, to be honest. But it was alright. I know that's one my brother said was awful, but I didn't think it was awful. But the sequel, which I actually got Disney Plus specially for, because actually it was cheaper than getting it, renting it, or going to the cinema. And I watched it with my mother, and my mother was like, what's going on? And then she fell asleep. She does fall asleep. And I watched it. I was like, because they messed it up by like throwing everything at it. It's like, well, we don't trust that Brie Larson can carry this second film, even though she carried the first film. We're just gonna stick everything in it. And also, Ms. Marvel, she was good, and they like the series, but we'll throw her in it because if we've got two people, and then we've got the third character who was also in she got her superpowers in Marvel, in WandaVision, didn't she? So she got her. So the three characters got their superpowers in various different Marvel things, and they all came together in the little brown boat and did the stuff, and it was too much. It was like throw. They couldn't. It was just like, it's like it literally, the plot was, hey, this one's popped in. No, it's that one. No, it's this one now. No, it's that one now. This one's here. No, that one's here. This one's here. No, that one's here. That one's there. And now this one's here. That was the plot. That was literally the plot of the Marvels. Marvel here, Marvel here, Marvel there, Marvel here. There they are, there they are, here they are, there they are, there they are, here they are, there they are, here they are, there they are, here they are, here. That was the plot. That was entirely the plot. That was for, I don't think it was as long as some of the Marvel films, but it did feel like it was a very long film. And I was like, oh, is that all it was? I was like, and then some cats came in. And then cats. And then lots of people and more cats. Razorhead. Yes, somebody, woo. Yes, a Razorhead. Oh, that's something that's been talking about. A lot of people online are talking about whether they could look after the Razorhead baby. And then lots of people have been discussing it. I tell you what, viral videos, how this works, how popular culture works, to me, is stuff happens, and I don't see any of that stuff, but I see people talking about that stuff. So I see lots of discussion online and lots of videos about different things and lots of commentary about things that I never saw in the first place. So the first I'm hearing about is like this big cultural phenomenon is people talking about it. I don't see the original thing. And I don't see the things, and sometimes people are commenting on about the commentary, and people are, and way down the line, I'll hear all the stuff, and I'll know exactly what's going on, and I'll know all about this thing, but I never saw the thing. I just saw the thing that people talking about the thing. So I don't know what's going on there. It's all gone weird. So yeah. So there's been a lot of stuff, but yeah, the Razorhead. I seen a Razorhead. I think I might have seen a Razorhead a long time ago, but a long time ago. But I do like David Lynch. I like David Lynch's Dune. That's why I'm holding back on seeing the new Dune. I know the new Dune. I haven't seen the first Dune, which is now on all of the streaming channels. So I can't see the second one until I see the first. And I held off on seeing that because I actually enjoyed the David Lynch version and the recut version. I've seen the original version and the director's cut version. I've seen several versions. I haven't seen it for ages and ages, but I've seen a lot of the original film of Dune. I haven't read the Frank Herbert books, and I tell you why I haven't read the Frank Herbert books, because my brother used to tell me how much he loved the Frank Herbert books, and I just told you what happens when my brother recommends things. So I'm sure they're great, but my brother's recommendations, I'm like, all right, maybe I'll watch that or read that, but maybe I won't. Yes, so new Dune, yes, Sting was very good, I think, in the original Dune. I loved the original Dune. I mean, maybe it was because I was a lot younger then and everything looked great. Because a lot of the films from that period, you look back on them and you're like, I remember seeing it ages ago and it seemed amazing. And I'm watching it now going, like Never Ending Story at the time. Never Ending Story, wow. It's like, that's what's amazing. Everyone's talking about it. And you look at it as an adult, through adult eyes, and you go, yeah. Apparently they're going to make a remake of that. Never Ending Story. It did end. It ended. It definitely ended. It definitely ended. What I really remember about that is, do you remember that a big meteorite? Yeah, a big meteorite, big giant one, came into the skies about 5 years ago, and it was sort of like that, a lump, and it was an unusual, and they sent a probe out to get it. I don't think it was Apophis. No, I don't know which one it was. No, it wasn't Apophis. It was one that was sort of a bit lumpy, and I remember seeing it and going, that looks like the big creature from Never Ending Story, which I can't remember the name of. The big sort of Chinese dragon dog thing. I don't think it was a Chinese dragon or a dog. I don't know what it was. It was a thing, a dog-headed lion thing. What was it? I don't know what it was, but Sebastian's a kid in it. Yeah, Sebastian rode it. I do remember from that a pony getting stuck in a swamp. Don't remember very much about. Is that what's his name? Yes, exactly that. Anyway, that's what the meteor looked like. Yeah, a big lion dog dragon flying thing that has Sebastian. Luck dragon, exactly. Whatever. Luck dragon, exactly. Yes, it is a dragon, but it looks like a liony dog. That's it, you know, when like Chinese New Year, and it's like, is that a lion or a dog or a dragon? There's a lot of crossover. So liony dog dragons, I can't really tell the difference when people are like, I've got a bracelet that's supposed to be a dragon, but it looks like a sort of liony dog, because there's sort of like whiskers on Chinese dragons. It's very confusing. I don't know whether it's supposed to be like a Chinese dragon. It's reminiscent of one. Anyway. So, the ones that parade around and the big hats on, the big heads, and they're usually red. And he wasn't red. Like, my hair's not red, and the dragon wasn't red. So, I don't know. Anyway, that was fun. That was a fun film at the time, but then looking back. I also remember when I was very young, I remember watching The Phantom Toll Booth. And all I remember in it is that somebody goes into a toll booth, and I liked it. I haven't seen it since. I don't know how. I think it had been out for a while when I saw it. It was on television, so I saw it way after it came out, because things that are on television, when you're a child, you go, that's something that's contemporary with me, and then you look back and it's 500 years old or something. It's like, I used to work with kids, and they'd come in singing songs or doing stuff, and I'd go, oh yeah, and I'd join in, and they'd go, how did you know that? And it's like, that's an old song, that, and it's not. It's not, but it's like a lot of the things I remember watching as a kid and thinking that that was brand new, and watching them again as an adult and realizing it was from like 1942 or something. It's like Wizard of Oz. Is it 1939, 1940? Wizard of Oz, I thought was, it just looked like it was made. You don't know when you're a kid. You've got no scale of time, or you just think that's there now. Therefore, that must have been made the same time as me. So it's very difficult to know. It's like everything old is new again. Like, I mean, a lot of the songs that were really big when I was growing up turned out to be like really old songs that had come back into the charts, either because they were covers or because they just re-released them again because they were in an advert or something. And you didn't know that they weren't. You just assumed they were new. You didn't know, and like I definitely used to get really offended when my parents used to go, "Oh yes," and join in, and it's like, how do you know that? Anyway, so exactly the whole thing. It's the generation gaps is stupid. Saying, "Oh, this generation's this and this generation's that," because really, all the popular culture is there for all of us to sort of access, and whether you access it or not is up to you really. But it's if you're 3 years old or you're 150 years old and you're in the same, you're all both alive, you're looking at the same media, more or less it's the same world. So the fact that there's wasn't there a president that had a child whose grandchild was, there's like, if somebody was born in 1820, then they might have had a child in 1838, and they might have had another child when they were very old, especially if it's a man. So those children were from the same generation, really, even though they're very old. Very big difference. I've definitely gone to school with people who had sisters and brothers that were like 25 years older than them. So technically they were the same generation, but actually, so it's generation is stupid. And also, Douglas Copeland was writing about Generation X that he invented, and he was writing about people who were born in like 1959 to 1963. But then by the time they coined Generation X is this time, and so it was like 1965 to 1976 or something, I think, at the time. And then they made it even longer, so it goes to like 1980, something like that. Because it changed. I mean, in my lifetime, it changed what they meant by that. I mean, I was watching Generation X stuff and going, "Oh, those grown-up people." And yet, it's like, and then they changed it again. And then millennials, it's like, millennials was like Generation Y. And now it's not. And then millennials, the last time I looked, went up to like 2000, and then they changed that. So they're going, "Oh, all these Generation Zs, and they earn more than," and I'm like, how can they? Because they were only like 15, and then they're like, no, they've come and gone. We're on Generation Alpha now. It's like, what? Why are you just making these things up? It's all so stupid. Like, my nephews and nieces are two different generations because they've changed what they mean by that. Like, some of them are Gen Z and some of them are Gen Alpha, and it's like, but they're the same family. What's going on? My mother is 14 years older than her youngest sister, and left home because she was looking after the kids, really. Apparently her younger sister was absolutely convinced that my mum was her mum. And she's older than me, so, because my mum didn't have kids until she was a lot older than the people that are having kids in my classroom. Like, in my class, my mum was a lot older than everybody else's mum. But this is the thing, right? They seemed older. Everybody else's parents seemed to me older, but they were very like, "Your mum's a lot older." It's like, but your parents feel and look older, a lot older. Like, their parents were boomers. My mum's not a boomer. She's older than that. But I went to school with people that were the kids of boomers, and and they were aliens to me, completely different. And I also went to school with people whose parents were way older than me. My parents, they were older than me, that would make sense, but way older than my parents. So it's just like, so, and they were a little bit odd. Like the kids that had like a really old dad or a really old mum would be like or they were brought up by their grandparents or something. You'd be like, something a bit weird about them, but you know, they were the same generation. I don't know. It's all a bit strange. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about this more because it's my birthday next week. This time next week, when you see me again, I'll be 100 years older than I am now. God. Birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy, thank you, yes. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy birthday to me. Yes, it's you can sing the happy birthday song now without getting into trouble. All my work is in vain. My special happy birthday song, which I was hoping would pay for me in my old age, which is up and coming and ever coming closer, is no. Because nobody watches my happy birthday song anymore because they've no need to. Because the happy birthday song is no longer copyrighted. It sort of wasn't anyway. But somebody copyrighted somebody else's song, and somebody copyrighted that on top of that, and the American copyright system is all very strange. It isn't the same as the British one. For instance, it's like 90 years after people are dead, except if it's before like 1930. But here it's still 90 years after, 75 years after, when the people are dead. So some things that are copyrighted in America are no longer copyrighted here, and some things are copyrighted here are not copyrighted in America. So it's very, very difficult internationally. It's very difficult to do anything on the internet because everything is up for grabs and everybody is questioning it. 1984 is out of copyright now, isn't it? And so is Mickey Mouse, the Steamboat Willie one, but not the rest of him. So you could have Steamboat Willie in 1984. You couldn't have him singing Irving Berlin songs though, but you could have him singing George Gershwin songs if you just have the song part, not the lyrics, because I think Ira Gershwin still was quite alive for quite a long time. So it's very difficult to know what you can use. P.G. Woodhouse, some of that. If you're in America, but still not if you're Britain. It's very, very complicated because he didn't die until like 1960. Very strange. Very strange. You can use some things and you can't others. Like you can't use any of my stuff. You just have to watch it and give me money. Nobody's going to give me money. Anyway, yeah. So happy birthday to me. Happy Easter to you. And happy everything else to everybody else. And stuff like that. And I will see you next week. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely week. And if you like eating chocolate Easter eggs, then I hope you get lots of them in the sales, because there will be lots of them in the sales. Yes, so be well, you two. Have a very nice week. See you soon. Bye.